Well, what I do on canvas and on paper is to make this grid of solid colour, but of very different kind of weights and apart from different hues. And then I cover it. On the canvases it's actually covered even more than that. And then I sort of dig for the colour. This was quite a new format, and that's what I showed Pete, and we were trying to get, I was trying to get the idea of this brushy direction sitting on top of this grid so that you read it in front, but you can also see the colour coming up through it. This is all one colour, these three shapes. And actually getting that right was not easy. And the difference between the three nearly right sort of results we were looking at, it seemed tiny when you saw it, as a touch of colour on white paper. It was, they were so close to each other, but as soon as you put them on the grid of colour, and they sort of kept changing. That one started to look like it was working better, meaning the way I wanted it to, where it was sitting, how the other things were relating to it spatially, and that was like a sort of riddle or a conundrum or something. It's like what's the difference? It was so tiny.
Because there's so much transparency in the ink. It's really transparent, but yeah, when you just sort of take a test on it on a piece of paper, it's almost the same. But when it's printed, there's only a very thin layer printed on the papers. That's when it really makes a difference.
And it's getting that that degree of transparency that was crucial. If it had been any less so, it wouldn't have been substantial enough. It would have been, kind of not there enough. And any more, and I'm talking about a tiny amount more, it would have been too much of like a screen or a block. And so that was the real big test, in the final stage of it. It was getting that right. And for this, I was working on, I don't know what it's called, that transparent paper.
Sort of mylar.
Yeah, which then gets put through some photographic process to make the screen. So there were two printings from plates like this and one from that. Yes, there they are.
I don't know if I can find actual ones, but those were some which were made along the way.
And I did lots and lots of these. And that's when I think that was my lowest point in it, because it looked fine on here, but when we printed it up, it was too brushy or too dense. Or
it looks great, doesn't it?
Really exactly.
Well, that's when you're enjoying the brown varnish as well.
Yes, that's right. So,
and then we exposed it and found out that this is like a super light resist. As it happens, the whole thing's got black.
Yeah,
so it's just a shade.
It actually blocks out all the light completely.
So I we were talking earlier on about the difference between painting and printmaking. I was really getting into this and really sort of like enjoying these, as painted drawings or something. But they had to work in terms of what they were supposed to do, and that was what we were finding out for one reason or another. What was working here wasn't working in the process properly. So I had to keep going, and it was very, very hot. It was that middle of a heat wave, and so that was when I nearly cried. And then, as I was saying before, the next day I came in and Peter had experimented with that degree of transparency and that degree of kind of, what I'd call it, sort of lack of brushiness, and I hadn't predicted that would be the thing that clinched it, and it was, and so we were on to another level then, and it made a sort of breakthrough. Yeah, it's coming back to me seeing them all now.